Other functions. Other functions or miscellaneous functions. These are functions that are provided by Oracle which cannot really be classified as date, number, or data type conversion functions. Data type conversion functions we will see shortly. What is this example? This example is the NVL function, which effectively replaces a null value with another value. When you find a null, replace it with something such as this is a null. What are all the other or / miscellaneous functions? These are all the miscellaneous functions. The ones I'm interested in at this point in time are the ones highlighted in red. As you can see, there are a lot of them. What does bFileName do? bFileName returns a pointer associated with a binary object in the database. We don't have any examples of that in our concept schema, so we won't look at an example of bFileName. Just as a side issue, generally the most efficient way of storing multimedia objects in a database, not only in a relational database but in an object database as well, is to store the file on a disk externally to the database and store a pointer to that file in the database itself. You don't want to store the entire binary object within the logical structure of the database. It's much more efficient to simply store the pointer and then store, for instance, the image externally. The only circumstances under which you would not want to do something like that, where you would want to actually store the object itself in the database, is where that object, such as the image, is changing frequently. Enough about the files. The coalesce function. Coalesce will simply coalesce all nulls out of a query or an expression. Decode. Decode is like a case statement. It allows you to change one value to another. The best way to explain decode is by example, so we'll get to that in a minute. Greatest returns the largest value in a list of expressions. Least does the opposite. Null if really does exactly what it describes. It says null if these expressions, in other words, return null if these two expressions are the same. NVL we've already seen. We replace a value in an expression if that expression result is null. User. User will simply return the username of the current session. Now let's take a look at some examples.